Hello everyone, this is LC again. Today I am talking to you in the comfort of my home. This video I just wanted to talk to everyone and to kind of give you some information about my travels. As I think some of you might know, I've been in Zimbabwe for the last 4 months. I arrived in Zimbabwe on February 28th, and we were told we couldn't move. That was March 19th when I was supposed to be back here by the 23rd of March. So that's been an ordeal kind of a situation that I wanted to kind of share with everybody about how that whole thing, I'll be talking about the trip itself and the whole thing, how it came to unfold, that we could be back. We left with Emirates, and Emirates was grounded, and the dates kept going up and nothing was happening. Finally, we decided that maybe we should look into the Ethiopian airline that had been moving for a long time. The only problem was that it was very expensive, so we couldn't afford it. The first time we heard it was moving, but when I tried to look again, I think that was mid of June, I found out that the tickets had gone down, and it had gone down substantially. That it was, something to think of a sacrifice and see if we could do it. And we checked more. We found out even on the website was even cheaper. So that was very good. So we decided we would take the trip. So that was July the 6th, we left Zimbabwe. The flight from Zimbabwe arrived, it was on time. I think was slightly like maybe 20 minutes delay right in Zimbabwe. And we took off. We stopped in Zambia. I didn't know that we were going to stop in Zambia because the itinerary did not mention that. But anyway, it was maybe an hour and a half stop. The plane was cleaned and, changed stuff, and I guess they did the filling there. And we left there about an hour and a half after. Then we arrived in Addis Ababa. That was the first stop I knew we had to make, from Zimbabwe. But anyway, we arrived there and we stopped again. It was another short stop. Then we took off. And then suddenly I found that we were in Ireland. I thought we were going to DC because again, it wasn't mentioned on the itinerary. So I'm not sure why these things were not clarified on the itinerary. But I know that they say 3 stops. And I didn't understand. So first I thought, that was Zambia, Addis Ababa, and DC. But they're not counting the final stop anyway. So they were counting Zambia, Addis Ababa, Ireland. Those were the 3 stops. But the problem is these other places were not mentioned in the itinerary. I'm saying this to let you know that when you are taking this flight, you might encounter the same situation as I did, or you might not, but it's something good to, I would say, check maybe with the travel agent or the airline themselves to find out, is this a common thing? Is that the way how they do it or something? If I had known, I was going to do that, because I was really shocked, especially when we arrived in Ireland. I didn't know that our itinerary was going to Ireland. My daughter, who booked the ticket, didn't know that either. And I know it couldn't be my mistake because my daughter was a flight attendant and she knows about, how to read these tickets and, things like that. So I knew it wasn't like my fault that I couldn't read properly. For some reason, they just did not clarify this point there, that they will be passing through Ireland. But anyway, everything was good. We left Ireland. We arrived in DC. When we arrived in DC, we were supposed to connect. I was supposed to connect with my flight going to Orlando. we had to check everything out, which was a little bit unusual again, maybe because of this COVID. Usually our bags are checked to the destination, even if you are going to change flights and all that. But the bags are, checked to the destination, and that's what the tag also say to Orlando. But in DC, we had to come out and check our bags through the customs. This was something I never thought or expected, but the customs were so serious. They wanted to check everything. When you are coming from, I was coming from, a third world country, and they wanted to know the little strange things that we eat and we might bring, and, this kind of thing. And they wanted to check all the bags because of that. So they had to check all the bags, literally. They had to check, like the 2 bags that I had checked, they had to be checked, opened up, and check everything that was inside there. Luckily, I did not have anything fresh. I did not have plants. I did not have any of that, So even though it was like that, but because they had so many people they had to check, we were delayed and for a long time there. And by the time we finished trying to go to the the checkpoint again, so we can get to the plane again, was extremely late, and the flight, was about to take off. Luckily, I ran around trying to find out what I can do so we can take the same flight, because I didn't know what I was going to do in DC. If I come out, I don't know if, I didn't know exactly what was going to happen, if you had to come out of the airport, what will happen, what's going to happen, and so on and so on. So I didn't know what to deal with that. I already dealt with enough of the quarantine in Zimbabwe for 4 months, and I had no interest to go through another situation that might jeopardize my arriving home. So I ran around, and we were given our boarding pass real quickly. We ran. We had to run to the gate. And as we were arriving, the man was already holding the door to close the door. So I had to scream, "Hello, you are waiting for us, aren't you?" And he said, "Oh yes, I heard you were coming." But anyway, they opened the door. We went inside. We were sweating. But we managed to catch that flight. We came to Orlando, and of course the family was waiting for me. And I think you already saw that video that I arrived, and I arrived safely. It was nice to meet my children, my grandson. So it was unbelievable. Really, it was unbelievable to know that we are back. When I was in Zimbabwe, of course, Zimbabwe is my country. Everybody knows. But because I went there wanting to be there for 3 weeks, and anybody can just imagine, it's kind of like you went somewhere and suddenly you're just told, could be just a vacation. You enjoyed the vacation. You liked to go to that vacation place. But suddenly you're told you can't go back. That's the way it was. And it did not really matter that Zimbabwe is my country. It was still I would say, it's weird feeling that, okay, I'm going to be here for how long? And of course, beginning was 2 weeks, and 2 weeks become another 2 weeks, and another 2 weeks become another 2 weeks, then 3 weeks, then indefinite. So all this time, as you are looking forward and you are hearing all these things, it was like, I don't know, when you hear indefinite, it was totally like, well, this is it. So what am I going to do? I don't have a job in Zimbabwe. I don't have anything that I can say, this is what I can do right away in Zimbabwe, because I left Zimbabwe 30 years ago. So everything that I knew, everything that I thought I knew, has changed. It's no longer the same. So totally, I had no interest that I need to stay there that long, because everything that I have created for me, that is mine, it's here in the United States, meaning my family, my job, my everything is here. So I say I go home, and I always talk about I have this, I go home, I'm leaving home, because that's really truly what it is, you know. But again, when you talk about where do I live here, because that's where my family is, that's where everything that I have created in my life for me is here. So that's what I call like my primary home here. And then home over there where I was born and grew up, I love to be there. But it was very weird that I had to stay there for 4 months, unplanned situations. And I had a better situation, I believe, because I was in my country. As I reflect on this situation, I always think of those who were in another very strange, completely unknown place. They just went there because they knew that there was this vacation place that was so nice. They don't know anybody there, and suddenly they were locked there. I just imagine, because many people are still like that right now. I hope many people are coming back. I hope many people are having the opportunity that we did to manage to come back. We still don't know when Emirates is going to start flying, because we had to forget about the tickets with Emirates and just buy a ticket with Ethiopian Airline and take off, because I knew that I couldn't handle anymore this indefinite time that Emirates wasn't sure when they are going to start flying. So that was really scary for me. So we came back. One thing, the trip was good. The plane was very empty. Kind of felt sorry for them too, that they have to take that whole plane empty like that, you know. But, you know, everybody have to handle their business their way. I was grateful that they are flying and they took us home. So this is pretty much what I have for today. I don't have it was just really just wanting to share my trip and how it went, and you know, and how I feel being back home. You know, it's nice to be back home. And thank you so much, everyone, for your support, for those who supported us in different ways, and so on and so on. And thank you for watching the videos. I hope you continue watching and subscribe and share the videos, please, because I think they're exciting. They are, you know, you learn something little by little as you go. So for those who never had this situation, just like me, it was my first experience of being locked somewhere. I think it's something to know what it is like, or how it feels like, especially for me who was in Zimbabwe, my country. Still, it felt not the most comfortable thing. I love everything. I love the food. I love the people. I love the place. But still, that's not where my roots are now. So that's where the difference is. And I felt out of place somehow. So I just wanted to share this. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and give some comments. Tell us what you like and some things that you want to know about. Thank you. Bye.